Welcome to Mr. Foy's Easel. Notice these words I've written here. Review, intro, which stands for introduction. For those of you who've been following Mr. Foy's Easel for some time, we're going back to some basics today about creating cartoon faces and how to draw expressions and so forth. For those of you who haven't been with the program very much or at all, this is a beginning. So we might call this program Back to Basics. Started out showing you how you can guarantee production of a funny face. That looks simple. It's almost as easy as a smiley face or a frowny face for that matter. Notice how a lot of circles or semicircles or arcs are used in this. Now, I'm going to give you a few examples of how this works. Notice I put everything looks about the same until I get to this particular point. Now we show the character here is looking that way, and he's happy instead of grumpy, and his eyebrows are different. Speaking of eyebrows, they are important in projecting certain expressions. And just to pursue this a little further, you can have a mouth like that and frightened. So if you look at these three characters, they resemble one another very much, but there are subtle differences. And of course, you can add features like I'm doing now. And so you have plenty of room for variations. Now, in order to get a little bit of perspective on characters, instead of having a front view, we can have a side view showing only one eye. And this provides a more flexibility as far as certain features like the nose. This is a profile view here of these two characters. Now, there's plenty of room for variations. You don't have to draw just an oval or a circle. You can do a kind of a potato head and put the nose on a kind of a view out this way. And so on. Now, all of these sketches are part of the introduction to cartoon humor. Now, moving on from just funny faces looking out or looking to the side, you can use basic outlines for a character standing, like this character. Now, at this point, I want to use a pencil. And the reason for using the pencil, of course, is so you can correct your mistakes a little bit easier than trying to use whiteout on a magic marker. See. Now, Notice I've got the basic outline there, and perhaps I want to fill in with darker mark. And although I won't take the time to do it, it's so, as soon as the heavy lines get set and dry, you can erase the pencil marks and have a character standing there with a rather friendly expression. Well, it's time for a short break, but I'll be back and showing you some more basics, either review for some or introduction.
Home security is now available through Conway Corp. It's an advanced solution backed by people you know and trust. Customize your system with motion detectors, sensors, light controls, and more, all managed from your wireless touchscreen or mobile phone. It's an easy way to protect the things that matter and the ones who matter most. It's safety for you, powered by Conway Corp.
Well, I'm back, and I want to pursue the cartoon body outlines a bit further. One thing you want to avoid, well, I'll show you. If you're drawing a character, you don't want to rely only on a kind of a stiff, almost statue-like pose. But this is a good place to start. Notice I'm using circular lines to a large extent, even the shoes and the hands. And I'm going to sharpen this fellow up a little bit. And remember what I said about the pencil sketch. When you're just starting out, I think it's best for you to do the pencil outline first and then complete your drawing. With that in mind, I'm going to abandon the pencil preliminary because I'm used to creating these guys. Now, what about a character that's walking? Now, while I'm developing this character here, you can look in magazines and observe from life to kind of get an idea of how people's arms and feet look whenever they're walking along, like this guy here. If a character is running, though, and notice these lines here. They're called, these right here are called speed lines. That's supposed to emphasize the fact that this character is moving along at a pretty rapid clip. And what about a character sitting down? I'll do just a rough sketch of a chair. Again, you don't want to just stick to a rather stiff figure, you know, like this. Although I know people sometimes sit like that, somehow it's not quite suitable for a cartoon. Let's have a look at somebody who's really relaxed. They might not be using the best posture, you know. You're advised by doctors and others not to slouch like this. But that's one example of a person sort of reclining, and you might have occasion to show somebody leaning up against a wall. Do the outline first to make sure you have the right relationship between the body and what the body is leaning against. Okay. Now, what I've been talking about here can be applied to animal characters. I won't go into that today, but at a later program, we'll focus on how you can use the basic structure that I've revealed here to create a cartoon mouse or rabbit or whatever. On this program, I must repeat something that I've talked about many times on previous programs. Exaggeration. You can see some examples of it in cartoon faces, or as far as that goes, the whole body. You like to exaggerate. For example, what I mean by this is this character here who's angry. Now, if you look at someone who's angry, you might not even be able to determine that emotion, or might be able to hide his angry feeling. But in a cartoon face showing anger, often they show the teeth, and are like this. And sometimes in cartoons, the anger is so great that the cartoonist draws a little bit of smoke, you know. Now that is really exaggeration. Look at other emotions. You might see somebody who's very pleased with the situation he's in. And this is not much of an exaggeration. Well, take that back, the nose is. But as far as the showing the emotion of pleasure, here's what a cartoonist would like to do. Oh boy, you know, the pizza's here. Well, so much for review and introductory ideas and sketches. Our time is up, so I'll say so long and happy cartooning to all of you.